What's going on, guys? It's Boss Han here. I am back here on the channel with another upload, and today I have a story time that I was told about a few weeks ago that I was gonna make, but I just forgot about it. But since now I can tell on the channel, that's what this video is gonna be talked about. Previously, I already made this story time in another video, but I kind of realized after making it and exporting to my storage that I kind of did a little bit poorly on the storytelling. Like, I sounded so tired that I can barely tell a story about how a Karen was yelling inside a McDonald's, so I had to redo the whole entire video and get new gameplay background. So this story time is basically where Karen was arguing with my sister at Knott's Berry Farm about how you can't really save spots even though you're trying to eat somewhere. So that's a really random thing a Karen would get upset about it, but hey, it's a good story time because it's rare to find Karens out of nowhere. But without further ado, grab your snacks, drinks, and whatever you need to get ready for story time, and let's jump right into it. So this all starting takes place where at my middle school, and I'm not really going to say where the place is because I don't really want somehow random people showing up to argue with me about bullcrap that just makes no sense. Because I mean, you know how the internet is these days. People just talk about drama that's really unnecessary and it's just kind of lame. Getting back to the story time, however, there's this thing at my middle school where when you're about to graduate, 2 days before, you go on a field trip to Knott's Berry Farm, which to some people that sounds like a great thing because you don't really have to do any work. Plus, it's a field trip to somewhere that's not a bowling alley because there are certain places for some reason that their schools are very poorly. They don't really have that much fundraisers to actually go somewhere that they just go to a bowling alley. Not really anywhere special, which I kind of feel bad for because I kind of feel like that people should be able to go on a field trip when they're going to graduate at a school. I don't know, I just kind of sometimes feel guilty because I live in a really privileged school. I mean, not a really privileged school, but I live in a really privileged city. So my sister and her friends are at the school. They get on the bus to go to this place. It's like 20 minutes away to Knott's Berry Farm. For some reason, it was very packed, which most of the time, well, when I went there, it was not really that packed. I mean, besides to the other people that were, well, actually, no, it was packed when I went there because there was a bunch of other buses from other schools that were going here because of the graduating thing. But it's actually packed when they went there to Knott's Berry Farm. Everyone's trying to get in. It takes like 20 more minutes just to get inside because of all the people that are here and waiting to go to Knott's Berry Farm. But they get into Knott's Berry Farm finally, and they just do whatever. Like, they just have a great time. They go around, go on rides, maybe go check out the shops. And just the thing is that sometimes whenever at some point during the day you're gonna feel a little bit hungry, and because of this you're gonna go to somewhere to eat. I don't for some reason remember the places that were at Knott's Berry Farm because I've been there a bunch of times. I mean, it's been a while since I've been there, but for the purpose of the story, my sister and her friends are gonna be going to Habit Burger, even though there's no Habit Burger even there, but we're just gonna say they went there for lunch. So they went there, and obviously it's very packed inside. There's all the tables are already taken. So my sister tells her friends that, hey, I'm gonna go save us a spot outside where there's probably shade. And so her friend's like, okay, we'll order for you. And so my sister goes outside to find a spot. Luckily, there was a place very close to the Habit Burger that's literally right outside Habit Burger, and there's an umbrella, so that's good too. My sister finds a place to sit down and waits for 10 minutes, and while this is happening, my sister's friends go and order stuff. It's been a little bit since my sister's friends were going to get stuff, and suddenly my sister feels a shake from the table, and at first she doesn't she shakes it off like nothing ever happened because, I mean, it's a little shake. It could be like an earthquake or something. But I guess this lady that was trying to get my sister's attention then shakes the table again, except a little bit more shakier, like a little bit more violent. And this time it attracts my sister, and she looks up, and there's this lady this tall lady that's standing beside the table and looking at my sister like she'd done something very wrong. And my sister, with confusion, is like, "Can I help you, ma'am?" And the Karen talks, "Do you think it's funny just to sit here not doing anything? Like, do you think it's a joke that you're sitting here and not letting other people that want to actually eat and already have food to sit here and again, my sister is confused because she just went over to save a spot. And so my sister's like, "Well, I'm just sitting here because I'm waiting for my friends to get back. We just found somewhere to eat because the place where we're ordering the food from is just packed. There's nowhere to sit, so we just came out here to eat." And the Karen thinks that this is very dumb because to her logic, you cannot eat somewhere unless you already have food in your hand, which is not really that true, because if you're just with someone, like, this just does not make any sense at all. Okay, in most of these videos, story times, I have a thing to point out something to make something common sense, but I don't know, for some reason I can't really find anything to make a common sense out of this thing, because this statement, what Karen is saying in this video, is just so stupid. I don't have anything to say that this just does not make any sense at all, just to point out. But again, my sister is confused because that's just not how things work. You can literally sit everywhere. And plus, the Karen says, like, look at everywhere. Do you see any tables that anywhere else but like me can sit at to eat something? And they look around and there's plenty of other tables with umbrellas to sit at. And my sister says, "What are you talking about? There are places. Just, you said look around, look around." And I guess the Karen thought that would do the trick, but obviously did not. And so because of this, she goes on another argument in which this goes on a back and forth situation with my sister, like, just pointing out the obvious and the Karen making other bull crap that does not make any sense as well. But then finally, the friends of my sister were now heading back to the table because while this argument's going around, my sister is texting her friends to get over here now that they have the food. And so now everyone is at this table and my sister's friends are confused because there's just this random lady arguing to my sister about how you cannot save spots. And they're like, "Hey, what's going on? Why are you talking and arguing with my friend?" And Karen pipes up and is like, "Excuse me, hun. Me and this girl are talking. She's being disrespectful and this is none of your business. So how about you go somewhere else so I can teach her about how you should respect others?" And one of the friends are like, "What are you talking about? That person you're arguing with is our friend. She just saved this table so we can eat somewhere. It's just really packed to the place where we're eating at." And I don't really remember from the rest from what my sister told me about this story, but what happens is that another argument starts for about like 5 minutes, which seems like a forever argument, and the Karen just can kind of figure out that these girls are not gonna give up the table. And the Karen thought at this point, which was a good idea, and that was that she's gonna go and call security. She was like, "You know what, guys, I'm sick of tired of this. I'm gonna be calling security and you guys to remove you guys from the premises since you guys don't want to take this the easy way. We'll take this the hard way." And she calls the number of the security, which I don't really knew that can happen, but I'm pretty sure you can just instead call a manager. Oh wait, I forgot this. They're not at a restaurant. I'm stupid. So the security officer shows up and is like, "Hey, what's going on? It seems there's a large argument that won't stop." And the Karen, before my sister and her friends could explain what's going on, the Karen pipes up and say, "Oh, these brats are disrespectful. They stole my spot I was going to eat. I went over to go over here and get the spot. When suddenly these girls pop out of nowhere and took the spot, and I started arguing with them and they just won't get out." And the officer looks at them and is like, "Were you guys being disrespectful to this woman?" And obviously my sister's friends and my sister were like, "No, we weren't being disrespectful. My sister pipes up and is like, "Well, I just sat here to wait for my friends to get food, and this random woman showed up starting to argue with me." And the officer is like, "Karen, is this true?" I mean, her name was not Karen. I don't even know what her name is, but she is acting like a Karen in this video. And she says, "No, these brats are lying to your face, officer." The girls then pipe up saying, "No, that's not true, da 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 da." The Karen's like, "No, that is not true, da da da." And it just becomes a she said argument. nothing's really going anywhere. And the officer is like, I don't think this is gonna go anywhere, so how about we just check the security cameras? I'll get an officer up on the video to check. So one of the other staff members goes to the video area, the security room, and they check the security cameras, and sure enough, the Karen was not first. She randomly showed up and started arguing. And so the security officer is like, okay, so we look at the footage and it appears the Karen was the one that's lying this whole entire time. So what do you have to say about this? And so the Karen obviously doubles down on the situation. The Karen freaks out on the staff members, saying that why would you be on their side, and how could you portray me? You're supposed to be on my side. If that's the case, then that video is obviously photoshopped and fake, and starts arguing about some other crap that had to deal with the footage. And what's left of the story, from what my sister told me, was that she doesn't really quite remember what happened after that, but what she remembers is that the security guard, the security officer, had enough of this Karen and said, hey, if you don't calm down, we're gonna get some other people to remove you from the premises since you're disturbing others. And she's like, no, you can't remove me, and the officer's like, no, I can't. And so they had to remove her. The other staff members come by and they just had to remove her since she was just causing a disturbance. But that's pretty much gonna do for this video. I try to make this video as short as possible, and this is how short I can get. While doing this audio recording, I was kind of getting bored of making this video because it was just, I don't really understand what this Karen's argument was. She was just literally arguing of how you can't save a spot. And I'm just struggling to tell the story because I'm just confused the whole entire time of how this Karen thinks this would be a solid argument to use to not let someone eat somewhere. But that's a time where a Karen got upset over lunch tables. But before this video ends, I have something to tell you all, and that is I would really appreciate it if you guys can press the like button on this video. If you guys want to see some more story times like these, it really helps me out if you guys like content like this, so press the like button. However, if you don't press the like button, then the Nerf company that makes Nerf guns will sell out of Nerf guns and go bankrupt. That's never gonna happen probably. I haven't seen any Nerf guns anymore, so that might happen, but if you don't press the like button, this will happen. So I'll see you guys in another video. However, moral of the story is that you can never save spots because that's just not allowed here.